Welcome back, YouTubers. Hey, I feel like I've kind of shirked on some of my promises. Not really through any of my own fault, but I did make some promises that I would have video of this here homemade inertia log splitter up for you guys to see as soon as I got it running. Well, I don't know if you'll notice, but it's still not complete. We're missing the main shaft up here with the sprocket on it. We're missing all the guarding. It's just sitting on this little trailer. It's not mounted down. I want to chop the trailer, make it narrower, make it a little more, a little smaller, because you don't want to be reaching 3 feet in there to set logs up on there and everything. So there's been some extenuating circumstances. Had some stuff to do for work, last minute, totally unplanned. That's the way they like to do things. Also, my son was involved in basically a low-speed accident, but it was a head-on collision, and had to have a trip to the ER, and now we're dealing with the aftermath of his car being totaled and looking for another vehicle and all that. And it's starting to be 101 degree heat index here right now and everything, and I've taken on a few more responsibilities by mowing my daughter's yard, since she has severe allergies. And then I made one of those mistakes of under-quoting the price on a job to mow a friend of hers yard who's not capable of mowing, and so I got that job too. It's money and I'm helping her out, but it's one of those things you're like, damn it, I should have quoted it higher. But, it's all good. So I just kind of wanted to give an update, because I do know there's some people that probably followed me specifically to see this thing running, and it hasn't happened yet. So, I promise when I get back to it, I usually do these marathon builds where I'm feeling good, I've got the time, the weather's right if I'm working outside, or I have the capability of staying at work for 14 hours straight over a weekend or something to do all this machining and welding and fabricating and all that. And so when I get back to it, hopefully it will be in running condition, the next go-round of marathon build. But as I promised, there will be video of it running. Whether it runs good, whether it runs bad, or whether it explodes, there will be video of it running. So, as I said, I just want to give you guys an update. I haven't abandoned it. I haven't forgotten about you guys. But it's just been a while. So, there it is. That's what it looks like. I'll give you a quick run around here. Maybe you can see some of the stuff you didn't see before. But, so what we have is the engine, which came off an old industrial cement mixer. Actually went through the Joplin, Missouri tornado, flew around, destroyed the cement mixer. But there is no clutch on it. It is a gear reduction chain drive. So I manufactured this clutch, which is a detent ball clutch. It's spring loaded. If for some reason it binds up, it kicks the clutch backwards. It has ball bearings that are seated into this hub, but they lock into detents in the sprocket, and that allows it to slip, and it'll pop. And hopefully that'll give you enough time to shut the engine off, and then clear your blockage and start it back up. That jack shaft comes over here to this sprocket, where we'll have another reduction. It'll be 3-belt drive, and it's another about 2-to-1 reduction, which will come up here to the main shaft. And the main shaft is done, but it's actually sitting over there in one of those little buildings with all the bearings and stuff on it, trying to keep it somewhat out of the rain. But it will sit up here, and it has a 100-pitch chain sprocket instead of a rack and pinion unit. And I've got this tied back because when I was towing it, it kept slamming back and forth going down the road. So I've got this tied back, but as you can see, we've got 100-pitch chain laid down on a table so that it was all flat, and it's been welded into these 3/8 thick sidebars to make this ram out of. and it extends all the way back to there. And as you can see, I have roller bearings here, 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 and it, like I said, it glides very well. I was afraid it was going to come loose and smack the back of the truck and break the glass out. So what I have left to do is mount that upper sprocket and pulley shaft assembly, and then I have to notch out here and on the opposite side for the roller bearing followers that will actually raise this up, because this will raise up versus being the rack and pinion, the rack unit being pushed down against the pinion. This design raises up, and it will engage the teeth of the sprocket, repelling sorry about that, propelling it forward. And then when it gets to the end, it will actually drop out of that shaft, drop out of that sprocket, the shaft will. There's a cutout, and that and gravity will allow this entire rack to drop back down to the resting position. There is not installed yet, but there will be a pulley right back here with a cable, comes down, goes under. There will be a large garage door, overhead door extension spring sandwiched between the two I-beams, and that will serve to retract the ram. And the way this is made, this entire side, this entire I-beam right here, bolt, there'll be a couple bolts back here, right back here. These bolts here that hold the wedge in comes off, and this entire I-beam comes off this side so that you can get in there and install the spring and work on anything. And so a little bit of the delay in getting it completed is designing the actuator arms and the cams, the bearings and everything in such a manner that they can come apart in order to facilitate removing that side. But anyway, guys, yeah, I just picked this trailer up a couple weekends ago and got it chopped down. It was an old boat trailer. Got it chopped down for this project. The main part of the splitter has all been, except for a couple of washers, nuts, and bolts, has all been throwaway parts. So the only thing that I have really purchased is the trailer, and I didn't really purchase it. The guy wanted $50 for it, and I ended up trading him an old plasma cutter that I had, a spare one. And he's a friend of mine, so he probably got the better end of the deal, but he's a friend of mine and he can use it. And so, you know, I'll do him a favor and he gets me what I need for this project. Anyway, if you couldn't tell, the yard needs mowed. It rained this morning and it's supposed to rain tonight, so I'm gonna have to put her on the back burner again, unload the big snapper zero turn, and do some yard mowing. So just an update, guys. I will get it finished eventually. I apologize for the delay. Thanks for watching.